today's episode of the Love and Light Show, where I'm super excited for your special guest, Ron Schafer from Simply Intuitive. He's going to share it out to his wonderful people on his pages as I introduce the Love and Light Show. So if you're brand new to it, we go live every Monday at noon Atlantic, 11 Eastern, so that we can bring more love and light and joy and happiness into your life. I love to help you guys on your journeys, get introduced to new healers and light workers, coaches, people that'll help you learn new modalities, learn new exercises or tools to help you heal on your healing journey. And we're on the Be Live platform, so we can't see you as you pop on live, so you always have to say hi, and we love to make it a conversation, even if you're catching the replay, so let us know that you're live. I know that there's some people watching now, so say hi in the comments, and we'll be sure to pop it up on screen and make this engaging for this wonderful topic today. So are you guys feeling like you really need to forgive someone, like you need to let go of some heavy resentment or negative energy that you have? Because that's our whole theme of today, is forgiveness. So Ron is amazing at what he does. He's also a reader. I love to follow him in his group where he does weekly prescription readings. So he's also going to do a mini reading for us today. And I'm so excited for that. I always super resonate with his messages. And when I saw him, I'm like, oh my God, I need to showcase him and spread more of his love and light in the world, because you're such a beautiful soul. So thank you so much for joining us live today.
It is my pleasure. And I am so happy to be a part of this whole community and be able to bring this message of forgiveness, because it's important, and a lot of people underplay forgiveness because, as children, what are we taught? Go say sorry to your brother, go say sorry to your sister, go say sorry to the teacher, go say sorry to all these different people. It's what we're always told. Go say sorry. And, a lot of the time it's a very half-hearted, yeah, I'm sorry.
I have to do this.
Right, exactly. It's a have to. But what we have to get in the habit of is really practicing forgiveness, because it is your tool. It is one of the greatest tools that you can use to get to a life of happiness, a life that just works. And who doesn't want a life that just works?
Yes.
We all need it. We need forgiveness, and we have to push past that old programming of what we think forgiveness is. Right. And that's something that I have learned so much from the Course in Miracles, which is a text that I study. And I actually just finished my very first year of it. So it's not like I, the end all be all of A Course in Miracles. There are people out there who have been studying it for, 25, 40 years. But it really has hit me. And, I had a beautiful teacher of mine. She was like, Ron, I'm going to be honest with you. And I said, okay, please do. And she goes, to you, she goes, I feel like the Course in Miracles is the same as it was to me. And I said, okay. And she goes, it's this golden book that just holds all the answers. And I was like, yes. And she goes, the reason you pick it up so fast is because for you, it's a song. You just forgot the lyrics, but you remember, that melody. It's a familiar melody. And I was like, oh, yes, it is. And that's just why I love to talk about it. I mean, like I tell people all the time, I can talk about Course in Miracles all day long. And the forgiveness and how wonderful it is, and, how it really can impact your life like it's impacted mine. That's the key here. Because I'm not going to sit here and preach about, oh, forgive, forgive, forgive. I don't practice lip service. I practice. Whoops, sorry about that. So I practice what I preach. So if I'm going to tell you forgiveness is the way to go, then I'm going to be practicing that way. And so I practice radical forgiveness, radical acceptance all the time, in my life. Because if I don't, then what's the point? Why am I going to tell you to forgive if I'm not going to forgive? It makes no sense at all. Yeah. So that's why I always say, I practice what I preach. So if I'm telling you, this is a tool you can use, it's because I have used that tool personally, and it has personally assisted me. It has personally helped me in my life. And that's why I want to share it out to all of you, so that you can have the benefits of, of these tools, of these tips.
Wonderful. And we have people joining us live. So Jackie said, hi, folks. Hi, Jackie. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And Sharon joined us, and George, Love and Light from Yorkshire, UK. Wonderful. People across the pond.
Yay!
Awesome. So how did you get to where you are today? What inspired you to pick up the Course in Miracles?
Well, actually, it was handed to me. A friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine, who also has been doing the course, she said, if I'm going to do it, you're doing it with me. I need someone to keep me accountable. And I was like, okay, why not? Let's see how this works. And then that was it. Like, we were off and running. And, you know, what I'll tell you is, for me, day 21 was the day that my life changed. And it changed forever. And it was, the lesson was that day, I am willing to see things differently. And I was like, okay, I mean, this seems kind of weird. And, you know, the practice of A Course in Miracles is very practical. It's like, hey, take a minute out of your day, close your eyes and repeat today's idea. I'm like, okay. And I was like, I'm willing to see things differently. Well, little did I know that I was going to have to see my whole life differently, you know, because there was a radical shift in the way that, you know, things happened for me. So, you know, my job that I'd been at for 11 years, well, we're downsizing. Your point is what? Well, you only work, because since I'd been there for 11 years, I pretty much made my schedule. So I worked from 5 o'clock in the morning until noon. Then I'd come home, do my readings, do whatever else I needed to do. Life was great. And then they were like, oh, no, by the way, no, that means you're leaving. And I was like, excuse me? But wait, no, I'm sorry. You must be mistaken. No, we're not mistaken. I was like, oh my gosh. And so, you know, literally just broke down in tears, because I was like, I don't know what to do. And I kept on, you know, and the idea kept going in my head. I'm willing to see things differently. I'm willing to see things differently. And I was like, it's really hard to see things differently right now, you know? And so I had to really practice, you know, what it was talking about, this true forgiveness, because what I had to look past was, this company did something to me. This, you know, the employees did something to me. No, that's not what true forgiveness is. True forgiveness is never about another person. True forgiveness is always about yourself and what you need to let go of. Now, it may come in the form of someone, you know, because we are all, you know, as A Course in Miracles states, the script is already written. So, you know, anybody in your life is merely a player that you have ascribed a role.
Yes.
You know, so let's say that you meet someone on the sidewalk and they are just rude as all get out, and you're like, oh my God. But you can say that and you can be like, but you know what? That's my creation. They're playing a role that I gave to them. You know, that's what they're doing. They're playing that role. And I can choose to see them differently. I can choose to say, you know what? I'm going to let that go. And I'll give you all a perfect example of true forgiveness. So I was in the store, and actually I was at the local gas station getting my mom and my sister something to drink, because they both, one wanted a Diet Coke, my sister wanted a Sprite, and I was like, fine. So I went over there, you know, and it's the same guy. I swear to God, he knows me by heart now. And, you know, unfortunately, he was losing his voice. And, you know, he was just kind of like, you know, and I was like, oh, you know, here you go. Because I already know how much it is. I go there a gajillion times, so I know how much it is. And this guy comes out of nowhere. I didn't even see him in the store when I walked in. Comes out of nowhere. And it's like, I can't see any ice. I can't see if there's any ice. And the, you know, guy, number one, he has a very thick Arab accent. But also, he's losing his voice. Like, he can't talk. He was like, 1 second, 1 second. And the guy, you know, can't hear him. And so then, you know, he kind of raises his voice to the best of his ability. And he's like, I'll be with you in 1 minute. And this guy just turns around and goes, that fucking, I can't understand that fucking Arab son of a bitch. And I was like, oh my God. What? Who? And I was like, okay. And I was like, here's my choice. I can choose to stay in my judgment and be like, you racist, bigoted person, how dare you? Or I can say, you know what? This is something in the script. You are a person that I have ascribed this role to for my own forgiveness opportunity. Yes. And that's what I took it as. And so I took a deep breath and I said, okay, Spirit, what would you have me say here? Because ego Ron is about to turn around and be like, who do you think you are, sir? You know, and yeah. Like, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to, you know, fight for this person. And I said, Spirit, what would you have me say? Where would you have me go? And Spirit simply told me and said, you know, just tell him 1 minute. And I was like, okay. So I turned around and I said, sir, you know, he's losing his voice. He said he'll actually be with you in 1 minute. I have to wait. And I was like, okay, yeah, you know, and
testing you.
What do you want me to do, Spirit? What do you want me to do? You know, and just that was it. You know, pay your money and leave. So I paid my money. I left and I got into the car and I was like, whew, okay, you know, I can keep my judgment about this person. You know, now I'm adding you're impatient. And I was like, but no, I said, really and truly, this is all my own projection. This is my belief in racism. This is my belief in impatience. This is my belief in separation. This is all of my belief. So you know what? I sat in the car before I left that gas station and I said, you know what, sir? I said, you know, I looked past the facade in my mind, and this is what I do. And it's something I actually learned from Gary Renard, another author of A Course in Miracles. Well, he didn't author A Course in Miracles. He authored Disappearance of the Universe. But it's based on A Course in Miracles. And so, you know, I sat down and I took a deep breath and I said, okay, I'm willing to look past the facade, you know, past the physical form, because that's not who that person is. At their truest form, that's not who they are. So, you know, I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to look through that and I'm going to see the light in them, because the light in them is what I have to look for, because it's the same light that's in me. So I can't condemn them, because if I am condemning them, then I am condemning myself. And I will never want to do that, because the minute you hold a sword over someone's head, 3 more are right over yours. So why have that? So I said, you know what? And I looked through that and I said, you know what? Let's turn it around. So I kind of, in my mind, visualized my light combining with this person's light. And what I did was I really just saw them as their highest aspect of self. And I said, this is who they truly are. This is the truth. You know, that other thing that I saw, that was not the truth. Right. This is the truth of who they are. And, you know, and then I stood in front of this, you know, new perception. And I said, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Combining that Ho'oponopono prayer in with it. So now I'm apologizing, you know, to the truth of who they are. And I'm saying, you know what? This is who you are. And I'm sorry, at that time, I didn't see that. You know, I'm sorry that I was blinded by this, you know, perception of an ego. And, you know, I really, you know, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And then do the same thing for myself. That's not me. That's not who I am. So do the same thing and do the exact same process all over again. And that is that practice. And it does take practice. It's not something that's, you know, oh, okay, I forgave and everything overnight. No, you know, there is a process to it, because what you are doing is you are training your mind. All right. And that's what's important. And, you know, you guys may hear my voice change just because I am also a channel. And sometimes people just like to come through. So if you start to feel or hear a tonal change, or you hear my voice get deeper, or whatever the case is, know that it's completely normal, and just someone else is coming through to speak to all of you about something. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but it may happen. So just an FYI for everyone. So if I look off into the corner, it's not because I'm ignoring any of you. It's just because I'm like, okay, that's where I'm seeing this or hearing that from. So, you know, but that's what true forgiveness is about. And it is a practice, and it is a training of the mind. And we have to keep consistent on it. You know, consistency is key on a spiritual journey, on any journey. You have to stay consistent, because if you don't, if you're saying, well, I'm not getting consistent results, are you being consistent? Because if you're not going to get consistent results. You know, you may practice forgiveness for, let's say, a day, or maybe even a week. And you're like, yes, oh my gosh. And you're, you know, the smile just comes to your face and you're like, okay, well, I've forgiven enough. I'm done. Well, and then you're going to start falling back into that exact same pattern. Do you really want to fall into that pattern again? Do you really want to go into that again? No. No one wants to do that. That's why, when, Jesus would go heal the lepers, he would say, go forth and sin no more, which meant don't think the same thoughts that brought this on, because if you do, you're going to get what you got. You're going to get leprosy again, or you're going to get a cold again, or you're going to get near death again. So don't think the thoughts, because if you do, you're going to get the same thing again and again and again. That's actually the definition of insanity, is, trying to do, thinking that something's going to be different, but doing it the exact same way. It's not going to work. We have to practice, this new and dynamic way of really coming into the world, because this is very different. I will not say it's difficult. I don't like the word difficult or hard, because then what are you putting into our minds? That this is
you're creating that into your reality.
Exactly. And that's the thing. So you create everything. You are that creator. You are the dreamer of your dream. And since you are the dreamer of your dream, everything is your creation. And that can be such a big pill to swallow. Such a big pill. People are like, so you're saying I created, a bad relationship, or I created this, or, cancer, or an illness. And the answer is yes. And I know that is not what people want to hear, but that is what is needed to be heard, because you are not a victim. And if you are playing the victim role, then you will constantly be a victim to the circumstances around you, to the people around you, to the illnesses, to everything. You will be that victim, because you are saying that all the power that exists within you, which is your divine birthright, is actually outside of you. Oh, well, it's because of this. Oh, it's because of that. And that is not the truth. We are surrounded by a world of illusions, and we walk in illusions all day, every day. And it can be so hard. And I love an Albert Einstein quote where he says, this world is an illusion, a persistent one, but an illusion. And that's exactly what it is, because, we go to sleep and we have our nighttime dreams. And, we people those. I mean, think about it. You got like 1 billion people in your dream, and you have buildings, and you have, landscapes, and you have animals. I mean, you got a whole bunch of stuff in there. And then, you can wake up and you're like, oh, it was just a dream. And I'm in my same bed. I'm in my same room. I'm in my same country. I'm in, all this same stuff. So it makes you believe, and this is the ego's belief in separation. It makes you believe that you are separated. It makes you believe that, oh yes, this is very real. But the real thing about reality is, when it comes to reality, reality is constant. Reality is stable. Not what we live in currently. This is not reality. This is the illusion, because it's ever changing. It's always changing. And that's why people say you can create your reality, because you can, but you're not creating true reality. You're just creating more and more of an illusion, and you're waking up to happier and happier and happier and happier and happier dreams, until eventually you're like, I don't even need this dream anymore. I'm going straight back up to oneness. I'm going straight back up to heaven. I do not need this anymore. Or you can take the opposite route, always your free will choice, of, okay, I'm going to get sadder and sadder and sadder and sadder and sadder and keep myself in hell. But this is where forgiveness comes in, because if you can forgive and be like, you know what? And this is something I always ask myself, and I ask my clients as well, when it comes to mentorship or readings, depending on the circumstances, do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy? Which one? And if you want to be right, okay, wonderful. That is your choice. But know that now you're right about that judgment you've made about that person. And know that that's it. That's your judgment, and it's going to stick. And then that person is now going to act that way constantly, no matter what, until you say, you know what? I think I'm willing to let that idea that I have about that person go. I'm willing to forgive myself for placing the judgment on them. I'm willing to forgive myself, for really seeing them as separate from me. And I am willing to just be happy by letting go of my preconceived judgments, my preconceived notions about anything. We have to begin to let it go, know?
And I love that, because a lot of people who come to me, and just like when I give like the healing part of the download, where it's like, do you want to like release any grudges and resentments and stuff like that, they're kind of like, sometimes they're like, about it. And it's like, it's essentially letting go of the poison you've been drinking, hoping that they're going to get hurt. Like it's letting go for yourself. And in that way, you're healing yourself and you're being that light and you're sending healing energy to them too. Like you're raising the vibration of the entire situation.
Yes, yes, exactly. And that's what forgiveness does. It raises everyone up to the highest level possible, you know, that of anything. Because once you can really forgive someone, you can love someone, you know, and that's the key here. And one of my biggest forgiveness lessons was with my own, you know, my own father and my own brother. You know, they were never super duper supportive of what I did. They're like, okay, Miss Cleo. And I was like, oh, God. I'm like, oh, joy, you know. And I was like, okay. So, but, you know, I had to constantly be like, okay, you know, and I'd wake up in the morning and my morning meditation would be like, I'm going to forgive them. I'm going to let this go. And I just would constantly do it. I did it for 3 months. I did this forgiveness. And let me tell you, amazing things happened. There was a time in my business where things weren't going very well. Like I felt like I was failing and I wasn't getting any clients. And I was like, oh my God, I'm a failure, da, 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 you know, all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, you know, I went to go walk our dog and I came back home and there was a note sitting on the counter. And I have this note framed, just FYI for everybody. I have it framed as a reference. Spirit never gives you what you want. It only gives you what you need. And I was like, who is this from? The only person home was my dad. So that, and then it was his handwriting. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, for someone who doesn't believe in what I do, you just spoke so much truth. Oh my God.
Wow.
My brother, you know, he was living with a friend of his and he was like, hey, I need a reading. And I was like, oh, for a friend? And he was like, no, for me. And I was like, who are you? Because this is not who you are. And, you know, and I said, okay, well, you know, what are you looking for? And he's like, I think I need a next right action step reading. And I was like, okay, I have one of those. So let's do it.
Awesome.
You know? And I told him, I said, you know, I'll tell you the same thing I tell all my clients. This is not predictive. You know, I'm going to give you the past. I'm going to give you the present. I'm going to say what's restricting you, what's helping you, the next right action step that you can take, and the probable outcome based on the energies of right now. So it's not a prediction. It's more like a roadmap to be like, okay, you know, here's what I can take, here's what I can do, so forth and so on. And so, you know, I do this reading for him and I'm like, basically, you need to go move in with this other person because the time that you've spent with this other person has ended. It's been done. You've learned your lessons. It's time to move forward. And the funny thing is, I thought, you know, I'm going to tell him this and he's just going to be like, whatever. And he was like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I just needed some confirmation. And I was like,
that's so awesome.
I'm like, what is happening with my life? This is amazing.
That's so awesome.
More amazing things happen. You know, after I forgave, you know, the company, after I forgave everything about that, I was offered a trip to go to Bali, fully paid for, to have, you know, and this is actually, it's going to be happening in August. And so it's fully paid for, all my room, my board, and then they're paying me to be there and to teach.
Wonderful.
And I was like, what is this? So, you know, forgiveness, you practice it. And, you know, the funny thing is, you know, I've been on Facebook for a while. I can't tell you how long it's been, but ever since I started the Course in Miracles, I literally have people telling me all the time, oh my God, I just feel, you know, to me, I feel like I'm super energetic and I'm like, woo. And people are like, I just feel so peaceful. Like, I just feel so good around you. And I'm like, well, you know, that's what the Course does. It even says that in the latter part of the book. It starts, you know, saying like some of the qualities of a teacher. And it says, you know, the moment someone thinks of you, they will be at peace. And I've had people tell me, just you opening your mouth, you know, saying hi makes me feel peaceful. And I'm like,
I can totally agree to that. I've definitely been in like negative energy and then watched one of your videos and been like, oh my God, yes. Like, I love your energy so much.
But it's all because of forgiveness. And it's because, you know, it's that practice of constantly doing it and be like, I got to just forgive. I got to just let it go. Do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? Which one is it? And, you know, I always want to try and choose happiness. Now, of course, are there going to be times where I don't want to? Of course. but it is that consistency. It is saying, okay, I know I really don't want to forgive right now. I know I want to hold on to this and be like, no, this person is wrong and I am right because, this is this and that and the other thing. But then I always have to remember, okay, you want to be right. That's fine. You can be right. That's the beauty of the divine energy that we all work with. We have that free will. I can choose to hold on to this grudge till the end of eternity. Or I can say, no, I don't want it anymore. I'm going to be happy. You go live your life. I'm going to live my life. And, sometimes, it may be that way where, it's just a parting of ways. And that's okay. Or it may be, like in my case, a coming together.
Yes.
Where just magical things begin to happen. And that's the beauty, the magic, the majesty of forgiveness, and using it to its fullest advantage gives you a life where you're happy, where you're peaceful, where you actually feel like, oh my gosh, I think my life is working, like legit working. And all I've had to do was let go of my resentments, let go of my judgments, let go of the past pain, let go of the past story, and just forgive. And you can use that tool that I gave, in the first part of the broadcast about forgiving, or you can use, EFT, emotional freedom technique, which is beautiful. I never thought, I'm going to be super honest with everyone, I didn't think that was going to work for me. I was like, how is doing this and saying some words gonna help me? And then let me tell you, I tried it and I was like, oh my, every day. Yes,
it's so good.
It's just amazing. It's an amazing tool. And you can combine, the Course in Miracles and EFT. I mean, basically, number one, those two things were made for each other. Like EFT and Course in Miracles, they just fit together like a glove on a hand. And it's
wonderful.
And, but you can do it with the Ho'oponopono prayer. You can do it with, meditation for forgiveness. There are so many different things. And, you got to find your own way to forgive. And, everyone's is different. No one's is going to be the same.
Yeah, so true. And people are totally agreeing. Nikki said, love that. And Ola said, peace and love. And he also said, wow, amazing. Great job. Thanks, Ron and Laura. Thank you guys for joining us and relating to the message so well. So before we end off, do you want to do a reading, whatever you feel called toward to guide whoever might be on here, or do a general one, whatever you're feeling super guided to do?
We're just going to do a general one for the people that are here. And we're just going to go first with the Mystical Wisdom card deck. I'm just going to pull one from here, and then we're going to go to the Answer is Simple deck, because that's one of my very favorites.
Awesome.
By the one and only Sonia Choquette. So I just love her. All right, so we actually got two cards.
Ooh.
And of course, they are the best cards we could get.
Wonderful.
So our first one is the 7 deadly sins. And this says, hubris, destructive traits. This is all about where we are right now. Look at her. She's shooting rainbows at people. Love does not shoot rainbows at people. Love does not try to, convince people of things. Love simply is. And, one of the main things that a lot of light workers will try to do is, they'll try to be like, I'm going to blast you with love. We don't need to blast people with love. Be in your love and know that love will ripple out to everyone who is open to it, and it will elevate the space. So don't sit there and be like, I'm going to blast rainbows at you. Be the rainbow and watch the darkness disappear, because light does not fight darkness. That is our prominent conception, that it fights it. Light does not fight darkness. Light dispels darkness, because darkness in truth is nothing.
Right. I love that. Just be the light, everyone.
That's right. Exactly. And then we have, it doesn't get any better than this. The Angel of Miracles. Open your heart and expect miracles. So the forgiveness miracle. Open yourself up to receiving that miracle of forgiveness. And, if you guys want some more help on this, I am, having a seminar March 9th and 10th. It's a 2-day intensive. Day 1 is all about kind of laying the groundwork for true forgiveness. What is atonement? a live Q&A, and it's on the platform known as Zoom. And then day 2 is all about the work on forgiveness. We're going to do tapping. We're going to do angelic toning, which is something that I do. We're going to be doing other things that are going to help us in forgiveness. And if you don't want to join the group, then, it is applicable for a one-on-one session. And that is extremely, powerful, because it is just you and me on a call for, day 1, 2 to 3 hours. And then day 2, 2 to 3 hours. And it's only $60 is what I'm offering it for.
Wow, that's incredible. I definitely encourage you guys to get on that. Like last Friday when we were talking about the show, a message came through for me and he channeled just beautiful amazingness. And like, I'm definitely going to talk about that in like another live later about how just extraordinary that was. I really appreciated the message and like your love and light that you just shine so brightly. I absolutely adore. And other people are loving it as well. Like he says, oh, that sounds awesome. And Ola says, love and light. So everyone's loving it. Yay. And how can people connect with you? Where can they find you online after the show?
Well, you can go over to my Facebook page, which is www.facebook.com/Simply Intuitive, all one word. Okay. And you can just go there because, so I did this talk with you today, and then tomorrow I'm actually doing a talk for the ultimate cheat code to life.
Ooh, very nice. That's exciting. And can you put it in the comments below right after so that people can easily link up to you and just click one click?
Yes.
Wonderful. And thank you guys all so much for joining us live. And I really encourage you guys to make this Monday morning or afternoon, depending on where you're at in the world, a habit into your life so you can just really soak up all this goodness, all this healing energy that's brought to you by all these amazing light workers and healers in the world so that you can be that light that we were talking about, that you can shine your light and shine your love and help raise the vibration of everything, especially by being forgiving. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Ron, for sharing your message of forgiveness today. And I'm sending you guys so much love and light. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.